Hey everybody, what's up? Marcos Villegas here in Indio, California, being joined with Joel Diaz, who's been training Israil Madrimov for his title defense against Terence Crawford coming up August 3rd in Los Angeles. Joel, you have a lot of experience with Crawford. You know him very well from your time training Tim Bradley, but I would imagine, this is still a very big challenge. You as a coach, how do you approach a fight with a Crawford that's so dynamic, so fluid, that could switch between orthodox and southpaw?
Well, it's not easy. It's not easy because Terence Crawford he's a technician, man. He's very smart. He has a lot of confidence in himself. And I really don't know. I know enough. Like you said, you know a lot. I don't know a lot because I'm not with him, at the gym, watching him train. I don't see him make mistakes, but I've seen him. I follow his career, and I've always said, to me, he's the pound for pound best fighter of this era. And I've seen him early in his career when he had 6 fights. Cameron Duncan has just signed him when he came to camp to help me spar Bradley for 2 camps. So I know enough, but it's not easy. It's not easy to put a plan to step in the ring against Terence Crawford because he's so dynamic. He's got a lot of confidence. He's very technical, and believe me, if you make mistakes with Crawford, he'll make you pay for them. But due to that, at this point, I just think that Israil is very disciplined. He's a solid 154-pounder, younger, and he has similar tools as Terence Crawford. Maybe he has not been at the stage, but we're preparing him mentally to be ready because it's not gonna be an easy task. We gotta be ready for Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C if necessary.
When you look at Crawford moving up in weight, how do you think that actual move up in weight is going to affect the dynamic of the fight and how the fight is fought the night?
It's very difficult, because he was a 140-pounder and he was great. He showed how great of a fighter he was at 140. He moved to 47 and did a lot of damage there. It's interesting to see how he's going to react at 154 against a solid 154-pounder. I know a lot of people don't know who Israil Madrimov is, but, it's understandable. And I totally understand the people that say, oh, well, it's an easy fight for Crawford. I would probably be the same. I'll probably be in the same position as all these people if I didn't know who Israil Madrimov is. But I know who he is. I know his pedigree as an amateur. He has over 300 amateur fights. He was a gold medal Asian Games. I mean, he has a lot of experience, and I know he's ran into fighters similar style as Crawford, and I know how he has improved and matured as a professional fighter with only 10, 11 fights. And I know that we put in the work, and it's all based on the work. We put in some really good work in the gym. We don't cut corners. Thank God he's healthy, and he's determined, and he's hungry. Israil Madrimov is by far one of the most disciplined fighters I have in camp. 100% discipline, straight up boxing. And I know he's ready to take that position. We are glad and we are very happy and honored to be part of this event, against, a great fighter, a great person in Terence Crawford.
You could say all you want about Crawford, that he could switch hit, that he's dynamic, that good footwork, good speed, good power. But I think the thing that really sets Crawford apart from anyone else is here, the ring IQ. How you guys, I don't know, how is that approach, approaching someone that just, when it comes to ring IQ, is just so damn good?
His ring IQ is obviously above a lot of fighters, and it's hard to prepare for that. As you can see, Terence Crawford has always been at another level because of that, because of his IQ. So we have to prepare for everything. Like I said, Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, and we know that his confidence can overwhelm you. So we got to be ready for that. We have to keep that focus and keep that mentality that he's going to be there, And at some point, you might think you're hurting him and he's not hurt, And as much as you try, he's always going to be in front of you, and he's always going to be in full control. So we know that we have to prepare for that. Israil knows who he's stepping against, and we just have to stick to our game plan and be smart through the whole fight.
Is there someone, or not someone, but does Madrimov present like a lot of things that have troubled you feel Crawford in the past with other fights? Like I've heard some people make comparisons like, oh, you know, he's like a bigger, better version of a Mean Machine, and Mean Machine gave some fits to Crawford when they fought. Like, do you think that's like a correct assessment from some fans that bring that up?
I saw the fight with Mean Machine and Crawford, and Mean Machine, you know, he was there, but the difference is this: Mean Machine is strong, but he's one-dimensional, you know, a little bit of a flat-footed fighter. And Israil is more dynamic. You know, Israil can switch lefty and righty. Those are the tools that we can prepare for. I've always talked about opponents coming facing Crawford. I've always said, man, it's really hard. It's really hard preparing a fighter. Really, really hard to put up a plan to fight against Terence Crawford, because Terence Crawford, you could be preparing in the ring to fight a right-hander on Terence Crawford, and the other fight he switches lefty. Or you're preparing for a lefty and he switches righty, and that throws your whole plan away. But with us, what benefits us is this: Israil can switch lefty and righty just like Crawford. He dominates the southpaw stance just like if he was a right-hander, and he's very athletic. You know, he's very athletic, and we've been practicing for both lefty and righty, and we understand that it's not easy. We just gotta be able. We just gotta remember, stay focused, don't lose control, and if Terence Crawford, due to his high IQ, tries to smother you, stay composed.
You know, him being the naturally bigger guy, is Israil approaching this as, I have to take it to Crawford, I have to step to Crawford, I have to get his respect right away, I have to impose my size on him and make him work harder?
No, not necessarily. You know, round by round, we have to make adjustments. You know, we can plan one thing right now, but once the bell rings, things can change. You know, so we're gonna have to base on making adjustments round by round, and just keep them very focused, and keep them steady on the fight, and making sure, keep reminding them that, hey, round by round, you need to make a switch, and those switches are gonna be very important.
As a coach, is this like the toughest puzzle you've had to like solve, like in your whole career, your whole experience in coaching?
No, you know, honestly, to me, trying to figure out Manny Pacquiao was harder.
Really?
Yeah, because Manny Pacquiao was so unpredictable. You know, Manny Pacquiao was a fighter that will beat you mentally before he beat you physically. You know, it was really hard, and I saw it when Bradley was getting ready for it. Bradley trained really, really hard. I mean, like never in his life. And in the third round, he comes and tells me, Coach, I'm really tired. He's breathing hard. But it wasn't because of the physical part. It was the mental part. Manny Pacquiao was like always like keeping you at the edge of the bridge, you know? You never knew when he was going to step in and when he was going to step out. And Crawford is more of a technical, you know, right there type of fighter that he's waiting for you to make mistakes. Manny Pacquiao was always in third gear. He start in third gear, and he will drain you mentally before he beats you physically. And with Crawford, it's more about a technical puzzle that you have to figure out slowly as rounds go.
So how do you see this fight being played out with Israil from what you guys have done in camp? Like, what type of fight are we going to see, you think?
We're going to see a very complicated fight in the early rounds, just until we try to figure out Crawford. But I know that if everything goes well and the plan is followed by Israil, based on our plan of attack, by the 5th, 6th round, once Israel's already got his timing and distance, he can hurt him. Yeah. Because I seen it in sparrings. I brought some fast lefties, fast technical lefties, and Israil would do his thing to the point where, at one point you could see that those punches that he's been landing can do some damage, and he's wearing 16s in sparring. I know that with 10-ounce gloves, he can do some damage because he's very explosive. And what he has is he's very unpredictable. Mm-hmm. Israil is, he's the type of fighter that, he's got a plan going on, and all of a sudden, you don't know what he pulls out of the sleeve. He catches you with punches that you don't see coming, and those punches do a lot of damage.
This whole process, Joel, this whole camp that you've had to prepare for Terence Crawford, what's impressed you the most about Israil?
His determination, that he comes in here, and every time you talk to him, and I look at him and I tell him, hey, champ, You can make history. He goes, Coach, we're making history. And he says, Coach, relax. Everything's fine. And when you talk to him, every time you talk to him and it's based on the plan of attack, he tells you, Coach, he says, there's no problem. There's no problem. He has a lot of confidence in himself. And I know that a fighter like him, coming from his country, who he's a superstar over there, and over there, the training is different. I had the honor to be over there for 3 weeks watching how they train over there. Over there, they train with lefties, with righties, high intensity. They spar bigger guys, smaller guys. Over there, man, their training is totally different from our training. And their cardio is insane, you know. Israil, right now, he can go 15 rounds, no problem, you know, and in full control. So we just have to keep reminding them to stay focused, stay in control, and just stick to the plan of attack, and we're gonna be fine. I guarantee you, this is gonna be a great fight. It's not what people think, and I understand. You know, I gotta, you know, keep in mind that people don't know who Israil is, and everybody says, yeah, it's gonna be an easy fight for Crawford. Yes, okay, that's fine. It's understandable, and we respect it because people don't know who Israil Madrimov is. If I was on the other side, if I didn't know who Israil Madrimov was, I'll probably be the same as the people commenting about it because I don't know who Israil. But you know what? After August 3rd, people will know who Israil Madrimov is.
You know, when I was speaking to Israil, I brought up the point like, hey, do you feel like the same vibes that Bivol was in, the situation that he was in when he was preparing for Canelo, and people were writing off Bivol, like, oh, you know, Bivol's going to get knocked out. Canelo was on his streak. Like, do you guys feel like you're in the same position like that people are overlooking you and people, like you mentioned, are saying that, but that it's a similar situation?
From the beginning. From the beginning that they gave us a date and they said who we're fighting, I mean, even locally, you know, and I know that here in Indio, I mean, the Coachella Valley, if they hear that we are training a guy here that's going to fight Crawford, they're like, oh, wow, you know, it's an easy fight for Crawford. Just the same way. Nobody know who Dmitry Bivol was. And we went to Vegas, and I had all the confidence in the world that we were going to win. I told Bivol, you know what? People think you're going to lose. You're not. And I've had the same feeling when we were in the dressing room with Tim Bradley. Before we walked in the ring against Juan Manuel Marquez, after Juan Manuel Marquez had just knocked out Manny Pacquiao, and everybody's like, do we have a chance? I said, look, we don't have a chance. We're winning. And I told Bradley in his face, I said, look, 95% of the people in this whole arena think you're going to lose. The only people that think you're going to win is your team and your family. That's it. And look, we won the fight. I feel confident because when we put in the hard work, I mean, the results are going to be good at the end of the day.
So you've been with Madrimov his whole career. Did you hear or did you see the sparring with Virgil? I know there's an interview that went out, and there's been a lot of talk about that sparring, what was said about that sparring.
You know, we are very professionals, dude. You know, we always try to speak professionally about the situation. I mean, anybody can say whatever they want, but my boys never talk bad about nobody, honestly. I mean, if you watch the interview, he didn't say it in a bad way.
You think it was taken out of context or lost in translation, the way he said it?
I think it was, honestly, because you know what? I respect everybody. You know, I respect Virgil, his team, Robert Garcia, and everybody. But Israil Madrimov, I've never been to Robert Garcia's gym. What I understand was they went over there to spar. Israil had just arrived from Uzbekistan a day or two, or that day, I don't remember. And they went over there. Raja Butaya was sparring Virgil. And, you know, I think they just Israel was going to get ready for his fight because he had a fight coming up. And we were going to start camp with him. But we didn't need sparring. But he was there that day. So they told him, hey, you won't get in there and spar with Virgil. And he did. But he says, you know what? Basically, he says he went in there. He never said I beat him up or he beat me up. He just said, you know what? I just felt like, you know, I was just, you know, enjoying it. Like, he didn't mean it like I was playing with him. He said, you know what? I was just getting in there and I was enjoying the sparring, you know? Because that's what he says. He says, even when these guys, you tell them to talk bad about others, they don't. That's not their style. These kids are very respectful. if you watch any of my fighters' interviews, they never speak bad about nobody. They never speak bad about anybody, even if you tell them, or they never mean bad, even when they talk. And whatever he said, whatever Israil said, he didn't say it in a bad way. He says, I got in there, and I was like, just having fun, basically. Like he wasn't trying hard, or or Virgil, whatever. It was just like a sparring session where hanging in there. And now they took it in the wrong way, and they made a big deal out of it. And now they're talking like, like if it was bad, whatever it is, I mean, but I can tell you this: my fighters, when they speak, they're very professional. They come from a really good school, and that's family. They got really good manners, and when they speak without harming anybody. That's it. But Israil never said like, oh, Virgil was easy, or I beat him up or nothing. He never meant that. They'll never do that. It was just a sparring session, And he said he just felt comfortable, so he was having fun, and that's it,
Like I'm trying to play the fight out in my mind, and I'm trying to think, okay, could I see Madrimov win this way or win that way? But like to you, when you see the fight, if you were to tell me, Marcos, watch, he's gonna approach the fight this way, or like, watch, don't be surprised if he does this and he's dominant this way. Like what? Like for a fan asking, like, hey, well, how is Israil gonna win this fight? What would you tell him?
I know that we have to put in the extra work for sure. Preparing for a fight against the best fighter pound for pound, and against the favorite fighter by all odds, we know we have to work a little extra. So everything is based on what Crawford brings to the table from the beginning. If he's gonna come forward or if he's gonna box, that's what's gonna determine the fight. Because if Israil has to go look for him, obviously we have to, put the pressure and, elevate the volume. But if we have to box him, we're gonna do it, in smart fashion, because Israil is a great boxer. He can move. He can make Crawford make mistakes and counter him. But I just think that either or, this fight's gonna end up going the distance. And I just think that Israil is gonna be the more effective fighter because he's really sharp with his defense. I don't think Crawford has the speed to catch Israil, because Israel's sparring partners are fast and his defense is on point. So Israel's gonna be really sharp on his defense, and he's explosive with his power.
You mentioned that you're confident that he can box.
Yeah,
I think that's the one thing that fans would be like, Crawford's the master at that. You guys don't want to box a Crawford. Like, he'll pick you apart. Like, you want to pressure him and use your size.
It just depends. It just depends because, people's opinions are important, but people can have an opinion, but they've never been in the ring with Israil, I can have an opinion over a fighter, and believe me, I was shocked. I've been shocked as a trainer myself with my experience. There's been times in which they tell me, hey, you know what, I have a kid. Would you like to train him? And they show me a video like, man, that kid is not worth training. But then they bring him in here, and I go, wow. When I watch him on video, I said, man, this kid's very basic. But once I have him here, like, well, he's explosive and he's good. You can see one thing, but another thing is being in there with him, And I just think that, in my personal opinion, Terence Crawford's going to have his hands full with Israil based on styles. Stylistically, based on styles, it's not going to be comfortable for Crawford.
Yeah, no, Eddie Hearn, it's his promoter, but he's confident. He feels like, hey, you guys are writing Israil off. He's a dog in this, and he's going to upset Terence Crawford.
It's funny because I have a lot of respect for his trainer. And I saw him recently. We're at the Fantasy Springs, and he catches me on the way out, and he tells me, hey, Coach, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, buddy? He goes, hey, you guys got something that we want. And I said, it's not going to be easy. He goes, I know. They know that every fight is hard. There's no easy fight. But based on styles, I think this is going to be one of the Terence Crawford's hardest fights, stylistically, because Israil is very athletic in every way. In every way, he's athletic. Remember, Israil he's been a fighter since he was a kid. He did gymnastics. Because he wanted to be flexible to help him for boxing. and then wrestling, jiu-jitsu. He's done all this type of different sports for him to be as athletic as he is. Plus, he's very disciplined. He's very disciplined in every way, you know, and he believes in his ability. And I've seen him. When I saw him sparring Bivol for the Canelo fight, I said, wow, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that Bivol, he was going toe-to-toe with Bivol, but I was impressed. I was impressed for what I saw in those sparring sessions. He was one of the primary sparring partners for Bivol when he fought Canelo. And him and Bivol did some great sparring sessions. I go, man, this kid's not just a pushover for anybody. I mean, it's just that, you know, styles make fights, and in his fights, I mean, his performances have been to a certain level, and now I just think that every fighter steps up to the level of opposition. And now he's gonna elevate to that. He's gonna rise to that position now.
Speaking of Canelo, what do you make of all this Crawford wanting to move up and fight Canelo? I know, you know, you feel that he's not going to beat your guy. You're confident in your guy, but moving that aside, is it a smart choice for him to move up another 2 weight classes to fight a Canelo? I guess we'll kind of find out how he deals with the size, a bigger size guy, but is it smart for him to do that?
I don't know in what weight division they're going to fight.
68.
Oh, man, I mean, I just think Crawford's so small. I mean, Crawford, he's a great technician, very smart fighter, but the size is a big factor. I mean, he can hit Canelo with everything, and I don't think he'll hurt him, but Canelo will hurt him if he catches him. That's what I think. I mean, but
if he catches him, that's a lot of if he's able to. A lot of fans bring that up. If he's able to catch Crawford,
he'll catch him. Canelo has the ability to catch Crawford. I mean, even if he catches him to the body or to the head, I mean, the weight is a big factor. I mean, Canelo's just big. Remember, when he fought Bivol, he was 185. You know? So he walked in the ring at 185. He's a big boy. When he steps in the ring, I mean, he's big. And Crawford, naturally, he's not that big. He's smart. He can be there, you know. And like I said, you know, I've seen him. I mean, he's not like an untouchable fighter that he doesn't get hit. He does get hit. You know, I've seen Gamboa put hands. I mean, I've seen Benavidez, Mean Machine. You know, they've touched him. But I think if Canelo hits him like Mean Machine did, he can hurt him because of the size. If it was maybe lower on weight, maybe it will be more of an even fight. But no, I don't think so. But like I said, first he needs to go through Madrimov. You know, don't count your chickens before they hatch. You know, I mean, a lot of people make plans too soon before you get to the main one. You know, but right now he shouldn't be looking over Israil because Israil is determined.
No, certainly. Just on that topic and setting your guy aside, just could talent bridge the gap between the weight? Like, is it that like something that like Crawford's so good that the weight doesn't? It does make a difference, but he's still able to win that fight against Canelo because of how talented he is.
As much as I like Crawford, and I believe he'll beat Canelo at 147 pounds, but not at 168. I mean, he's barely moving to 54. He has not felt that weight yet. You know, 54, 60, 68. I mean, they're big boys. And you know what? I mean, let's put it this way. And I'm going to give you a great example. When Boo Boo Andre fought Benavidez, I gave Boo Boo Andre a chance because to me he's been one of the greatest fighters. He was great. Great technician. Beautiful. I mean, beautiful style and everything. But the size difference was a big factor in that fight. You see the first rounds, how Boo Boo was like in control. But once Benavidez started coming forward and landing those shots, is the weight. There's an example to you right there. Let's put it this way. Dmitry Andre will beat Crawford, and Canelo will beat Benavidez. The same outcome.
It's a similar fight, you feel?
Similar fight.
Yeah. Same thing. That Terence will do well early, but Canelo's going to start walking him down and putting punches together.
That's the best example I can give you because Dimitri's Boo Boo Andre was also a great technician, a great fighter, smart fighter, and a very avoided fighter. Nobody wanted to fight him because he was so good. Yeah. But he moved up from 54 to 60 to see if he catch a fight. He fought once or twice, I remember. Nobody wanted to fight him, so he moved to 68, and he fought Benavidez, but it's just the weight size. It's just a weight difference. And I'm giving you a great example right there. That will be Bubu Andre will be Crawford, and Canelo will be Benavidez, and that's the outcome right there.
You know, it's a crazy thing, though. Then we see a fight like Pacquiao against Margarito, and you're like, what the heck happened here? Like, I know styles make fights and all that, and Manny Speed and Margarito wasn't what he was before.
Margarito is slow, big guy, strong, but, I mean, technically, I mean, you can't compare. You can't compare, you know. And then plus look at the wars that Margarito had in his career, you know.
That was post the Cotos and all those. That was at the end. Was that the last fight of Margarito? I'm not sure if he had one more after that, but the eye and all that. But yeah. Well, yeah, you guys look to throw a wrench in those plans that, you know, that they want to put that fight at 168. Joel, as always, good chatting with you, good catching up with you. On a final note, just let everybody know, state the case for your man. Why is he winning this fight come August 3rd?
Well, I just want to invite everybody, and I want to thank everybody who's been, you know, watching and following up on this fight. We're honored to be part of this event, and we were chosen, obviously, to be main event. So we're going to put up a great show. I guarantee you guys, wherever Team Diaz is, we always put a great show for the fans. Don't miss it.
Goes down August 3rd in Los Angeles. Israil Madrimov putting his title on the line against Terence Crawford. This is Marcos Villegas for Fight Up TV. Thank you guys for watching.